Shavua Tov, a gute Woche. Tonight I'm going to tell a very brief story number 14 of the Shivchei Baal Shem Tov, called Astaras HaKetavim, the hiding away of the writings or manuscripts, and it refers to the writings, the manuscripts that Rav Adam Baal Shem had his son bring to the Baal Shem Tov after his passing, when the Baal Shem Tov was very young, from which the Baal Shem Tov learned the secrets of Torah that eventually led him to become the great leader and tzaddik. The story says that those manuscripts mentioned previously, the Baal Shem Tov took and locked them inside a stone in a mountain. He recited a certain shvuah, judgment, or swore something upon the stone, and it opened. He placed the book or the manuscript inside, and the stone closed. And then the Baal Shem Tov put there a shomer, a guard. I do not know what it means, a guard, a person that guards, something spiritually that guards a place. The Rav of our community, says the author of the book, so the Rav of the community of Linitz, said that he heard from the Mochiach of Polnoi. The Mochiach of Polnoi, Rav Yehuda Leib, who passed away in the year 5531, 1771, 11 years after the Baal Shem Tov. So the Rav of the community of Linitz heard that the Mochiach of Polnoi said, when he was very old, that he, the Mochiach of Polnoi, had the power to take the manuscripts from that place, because he knew where they were. He could go and he could say something and take them out of the stone. But since it was the Baal Shem Tov himself who put them there, he didn't want to put his hand there. He also said that those manuscripts had been revealed only 5 times throughout all the generations. The Baal Shem Tov was the 5th. They were in the hands of Avraham Avinu and Yehoshua ben Nun. And who were the other 2? The Mochiach of Polnoi didn't know. And so it's a story, quite short. I can refer now, if we can spend 2 more minutes, to a mashal, a parable that the Baal Shem Tov presented for tonight. The first day, the beginning of the month of Elul, the Baal Shem Tov said that when we want to speak to a king, it's not an easy task. When we go to the palace, there are guards. They don't let you in. You have to somehow get through the guards, talk to them, convince them. And then you have the king's aides and helpers and ministers. And through them, you have to talk your way through to get an appointment for an audience with the king. Not an easy task. Most people, unless they're very important and worthy of receiving the king's attention, they just cannot get through. But once a year, the king comes out of the palace and goes into the field where the peasants are. And even a small child of the peasants comes to the king, and the king listens to him and his request. And so, Baal Shem Tov says that this month of Elul, the king is in the field. And each of us, the simplest one of us with an honest heart, can come to the king and can say what our request is. And when we have the honesty of a person, a simple, humble person who does tshuva, who repents in front of Hashem, we can just connect to him like that little child in front of the king. And there is nobody in between. Just connect. Shavua Tov, a gute Woche, and a ksiba v'chasima tova l'shana tova mesuka. May we all be written and inscribed in the book of life for a good, sweet new year.